I'm going to take you through the latest or recent changes that we have done to the fiscalization solution. So if you have just installed it, of course you need to go to fiscalization, then you need to go to create fiscalization objects. So this will create additional objects, and if you want to see help, you can be able to see details about the mappings on the help page of the platform. So you come here, you do this, and you do this, you can see the mappings that are supposed to be done for both the named customers and the cash customers. So named customers are the customers that own the business partner that you're using in SAP. So in cases where you have a cash customer but they require fiscalization details in their own name, you still can be able to achieve that by following the details that are on this page. All right, so let me go back to SAP. So once you're done with that, you have learned how the new mapping is working, and you have also seen the documentation. The next thing is for you just to go to user find Windows, then you go to FDMS device config. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put it on test, since we're going to be doing a little bit of some tests here. And if you notice clearly, you are going to be able to see that we have added these two columns. So validate fiscal data. So validate fiscal data, what it does is when you are fiscalizing, it will check and make sure that everything is okay. That's the tin. The tin is supposed to be there. There's the VAT. You can't put a VAT without a tin. The conducts and many other things. It will validate before it sends to Zimra for fiscalization. So we also have a nice feature that we're working on. I think it's coming on the next version of the system, where you can show a preview. So it will allow you to preview the details and be able to see and make necessary changes. I think it's going to come in handy, especially for the cash customers. And also there's something that we're working on that will allow you to view all the business partners and all the relevant fields that need to be updated in the system, but you will see that in versions that are coming. All right, but for now, validate fiscal field is what we've added. So if you do that, you are then going to be able to see how it works. So by default, this one is ticked. If you don't want it, you can untick it. If you don't want it, you will be able to fiscalize, and you may have issues with customers. They'll come and say, our details are not correct. If priority to you is just to fiscalize and give them and sort the problem, when they come back, you still can be able to do that. All right, so we are done with that. The next thing is, of course, to go to the documents and start fiscalization. So I'm going to come here, then I'm going to select this document, of course. Then I'm going to move to the last document. So what I'm going to do here is, I think you're actually going to notice some funny things. So it's very important that we see what is happening here. So if I fiscalize here, I'm going to be told that the address has not been found. Yeah, so there are issues with address. So for this closed document, unfortunately, you cannot edit the details. So you're supposed to make sure when you are creating a document, you add the state, which is your province, then the street number, which is your house number, street or PO box, which is the street, and there's also city, which is your city. So these details are supposed to go to Zimra for fiscalization. So you need to make sure they are in place. So what we can do for this for now is we can turn off the validation, then we send the document. But I think on a version that is coming, you will be able to have a preview where you can actually do some quick edits. So that's what we have here. Let me try to see if I can do a document that has not been closed. Fortunately, it only happens when the document has been closed. So before it's closed, you are able to play around and make sure that everything is in order. So what I'm going to do here is, for a second time, I just need to make sure that I'm on test, because I'm actually testing. All right, so I'm going to come here again, then I select this. I should be able to see that I didn't update it. So let me do this and update now. So I don't need to send this to Zimra. Okay, so test here. Let me just Control Shift U or view user defined fields. All right, it was already fiscalized, so even if I was going to fiscalize, it was going to just return the information and not fiscalize it again, which is how the system works. All right, so I'm just going to come here and I'm going to fiscalize the document here. So let's see how it goes. So this is what the system has come up with. All right, it's saying add buyer trade name on the, it will tell you the fields. So these are user defined fields, the ones that are you that start with you are user defined fields. So it's saying add buyer trade name on the trade name. So you will see that there is a trade name here. So the trade name, I'm going to say trade name. Of course, you need to put the correct details for the customer. Then the taxpayer name is there. Then I'm just going to do update here. Okay, so after updating the document, if I come here, I should be able to fiscalize the document. And since it's on validation, that error is gone, but it now has these errors. Then there's also a note: a customer is considered a cash customer if it has no TIN on the business partner master data. For additional mapping, please refer to help under tools, fiscalization, then help. That's the help that we just navigated to. So for you to do that, of course, you need to close out of this and you select here fiscalization, then help. So that's the help that is being talked about. All right, so we have two more fields, so we are validating. So the phone number, I'm just going to put a random phone number, and the email is going to be email@email.com. it has to be a valid email. And we're going to do the update. And once we are done, we will do the fiscalize here. So if everything is in order, the system is actually going to send the document to Zimra for fiscalization. So it's a balance and check to just make sure that everything is in order, because I believe you would want to make sure that you have less complaints from your customers. So this is one of the things that makes it easy for you. Then for customers, I'm going to show you something also on this document. So I had actually entered correct information here. So if I select here, you see that I've entered this street, then the street number, which is the house number that is required by Zimra, then the state, which is the province, then there's also city. So you need to make sure that all these details are entered. For a cash customer, you do it on the document, and for a customer, you do it on the customer master data. So let me just show you. Another thing that is important is if I navigate to the customer here, I'll be able to see that the customer does not have a TIN. So if you view here, then you say user defined field or Ctrl+Shift+U, you see that there is no taxpayer identification number. So if a customer does not have a taxpayer identification number, it is going to be treated as a cash customer. So I think that's what we have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to navigate to a customer that we call a named customer. So this is a customer that has their own account in the system. So I'm just going to navigate back, and I come to this one, and I believe this one is a named customer. So for a named customer, let me just try to see if I can fiscalize here and see what the system is going to do. Everything is in order here. So how is it in order? On this, it doesn't take details from this address. Of course, when you're dealing with SAP, it may copy the details to the address, which is something that we may just need to verify. All right, but you need to go to the business partner master data. That's where you need to update the address. So the address is taken from the invoice or credit note if it's a cash customer. If it's not a cash customer, it's taken from the business master data. The reason why we did that is so that it's easy for you, even for the named customers. Even if the document has been closed, you still be able to adjust the addresses. So I'm going to navigate to the customer here. So if I navigate to the customer, I'll go to the address. Then on the bill to address, the bill to address is the one that is being used by the system to send the details to Zimra. So you need to make sure that the state, which is your province, and I'm sure the consultant will rename this field so that it becomes easy for you. So we also have the city, and we also have the street PO box. Then we have the street number. So this is the house number. So the consultant will do necessary adjustments. All right. So once you are done with that, you are sure that everything is in order. Make sure you are doing that to a default address, because it won't use any other address other than the default address. So the default address is the one that needs to have this information. This information, especially for your build 2. If it doesn't have an address, you're going to have a problem with the validation, because the system is going to say, no, there is no address here. All right. So once you're done with that, the next thing, of course, is to make sure that VAT is there. So we've also added validation for the length of the VAT field or data, and the length of the taxpayer identification number. So for business partners, the name is the trade name. The card name is the trade name. Then taxpayer name, that's where you put the taxpayer name. Let's say it's a company that is owned by another company. That's where you put on the user defined field. But on of course, you're dealing with this particular business partner, so it has to be the trade name of that entity that you're dealing with. All right. So we are done with that. So I think that sums up, the developments that we have done for this version. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any issues, make sure to contact us. My name is Diamond. Goodbye.